The following is an exclusive presentation of Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Meeting the needs of Westchester County through the American Red Cross. CEO John Ravitz next on Meet the Leaders. Good evening and welcome once again to Meet the Leaders. I'm your host, Terrence Mikas. The American Red Cross of Westchester County has a CEO that's been in there for about 2.5 years, John Ravitz. Many of you may have known that he was a New York State Assemblyman for 12 years, and he says meeting the needs of the people is what his heart's always been, and in Westchester County, the American Red Cross is trying to do that. We're going to talk to him now about some of the work that they're doing. It's busy in these times, right? I mean, you talk about no finances up in the state, people are strapped. Volunteers are what drive your organization, but you need funds, but you're still out there doing a lot of work day to day.
We are, Terrence, and one of the things that we always have to remind our donors is that disasters don't wait for the economy to get better. In fact, in some cases, we've seen an increase in disasters throughout Westchester County. Last year, we responded to 104 disasters throughout the county. That was a 22% increase than the prior year. And in some of the areas that we would respond to fires, a two-family or three-family home would have 6 or 7 families living in them.
And that's because you think the economy has forced that sometimes?
I think so, and I think some owners, building owners, have taken a one-bedroom apartment and made it into 2 studio apartments. There's a whole host of reasons. And
shoddy owners, and we're not saying who, don't do the work a lot of times because they don't want to pay the money.
Correct. So not only are we responding to more disasters throughout Westchester County, but we're serving more people. And that, of course, is one of our core missions.
Before we go in there, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about, there's so much information that you can be prepared at all times, because who knows? We never know when things are going to happen like that. But you're in the Assembly for 12 years. I just want to get a vantage point. You saw how things work. Constituent so much. You were in New York City, so a lot of population, a lot of needs. How different is it and how similar is it?
Well, I think the key is wanting to work with communities on the ground and work and build up and really develop partnerships through local organizations. We're very lucky in Westchester County that a lot of the nonprofits do work together. We all have specialized areas that we can help people with, and then if you can get those people to work together and then work with business groups like the Westchester County Association and the Westchester Business Council, it only makes us stronger and us more able to do our job.
And then you're not doubling up on the money.
Well, in some cases, yes. I mean, we're all competing to raise money.
Right, but if you can work together and you know one person's going to be there, you can at least save a pool of money if you.
That's correct, and I think that's the coordination, and that's having good lines of communication with each other. And I think one of the things that I've been most impressed about is the fact that my colleagues and other organizations really do want to work together, and that makes life a lot easier.
What drew you to the Red Cross? I mean, a lot of areas, when you come out of the Assembly, you have so many contacts and connections. Why the Red Cross?
Well, I started my career as a social worker, and then was lucky enough and fortunate enough to serve in the State Assembly for 12 years. Decided after 12 years and having, at that point, 3 kids under the age of 3, that it was time to not to run again. And I always felt good about that because I saw too many of my colleagues lose an election and then only have a few weeks to really put their lives back on track. So I went out on my terms. But knew I wanted to stay in public service. And when the opportunity came to come to the Red Cross, I certainly knew about the organization in my work as an assemblyman. But you know what? Since joining the Red Cross, I now see how much work this organization does locally, throughout the country, and internationally as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take the people through this so they can really see. We're going to run some videos so they can really get a look at what goes on. But let's just work back. Big thing that you've been working on a long-term basis now has been the Haiti project. I mean, Katrina also. You have people in Katrina still. Sure. People don't realize that these things don't stop when we stop seeing them. But in Haiti right now, give us some update on that. Are the services and are the goods and are the supplies getting to the people hurting?
Yes, not as quickly as I think any of us would like, but I think we all have to understand that as devastating as Katrina was, you had some infrastructure that was there. Haiti, this country of Haiti, had very little infrastructure, had very little support from the government, and so when the earthquake hit, it demolished everything. And so you really had to begin to rebuild from the bottom up. What the American Red Cross has done since day one, though, is to try to make sure that we had the resources available for for the people of Haiti. And again, the people of Westchester have stood up. Our office is right off of 287 on North Broadway in White Plains.
Yeah.
The day people started seeing the images of Haiti on their TV screens or reading about it in the newspapers, people were stopping into our offices. How can I help? What can I do? We had to have volunteers manning the phones 7 days a week for the first 2 weeks after the earthquake because people wanted to donate and contribute. And that's an incredible.
America.
Well, it is.
You know, and people
it,
don't, you know, these countries, they don't. I mean, for years, America just does that.
Yeah, and that's what
regardless
makes us
of party.
No, and that's what makes us special and makes us strong. And I can tell you that since April 6th, the American Red Cross, as of April 6th, I should say, had raised over $410 million.
Now, how do you give confidence, Mr. and Mrs. Front Porch, that all their money is going where it was allocated to? Because a lot of there were receptions years back about the Red Cross. One bad egg, one bad season. Sometimes those perceptions linger,
And they need to be addressed. And one of the things that our organization has really done under the leadership of Gail McGovern, who is our national CEO, is to honor donor intent and to really let donors have a real good understanding of where their money is going in terms of food and shelter supplies. And what we have done is issued, for the first few weeks, we were issuing weekly reports. And now we're issuing monthly reports, and we just finished, came out with what was the third month update since the earthquake. And anyone can contact us, and we can get you that report, because it really shows exactly where the funds have gone in terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of shelter supplies, in terms of helping to get that country ready for what still they have to go through in a hurricane season as well. And so we really want donors who have taken the time to contribute to this relief and recovery operation to have that sense of confidence.
When you say donor intent, you mean, just so everybody's clear, that wherever people earmark their money, they say, I want it to go to that group, you make sure it does.
Yes. And again, one of the things that I'm most proud about being part of the American Red Cross is the fact that 91 cents of every dollar that we raise goes right back into services.
Because you don't have a big overhead.
Right.
It's volunteer-driven.
Volunteer-driven. 96% of our workforce are volunteers. So when you have those two figures that you can talk about, hopefully that does give people confidence in the fact that, yes, if we contribute to the American Red Cross, whether it's local, whether it's domestic or international, that money is going directly to where it needs to be to help people.
And a lot of it is local. In fact, we're going to run a little film clip right now, just for about a minute here, to let people just get a picture says 1,000 words.
Yes.
Let them see what you do right here in Westchester County, and they can get a little feel for that. We're going to take a look at that right now.